Sometimes the loudest voice you will ever need to hear is your own. In a bustling city in California, there lived a 15-year-old girl named Ava Mitchell. She studied at Redwood High School, one of those schools where competition was everything. Grades, sports, talent shows, everyone wanted to shine. But Eva, she was the quiet one. She loved to write poetry but never showed her work to anyone. Every time she tried to read aloud in class, her voice would tremble, her hands would shake, and her mind whispered, "You are not good enough." Her classmates didn't bully her, but they overlooked her. She was invisible in a world that celebrated loudness. One day, her English teacher, Mrs. Collins, announced a school-wide contest, The Power of Words, where students had to perform an original poem on stage. The winner would get a scholarship to a creative writing camp in New York. When Ava heard it, her heart raced. She had hundreds of poems written in her notebook about dreams, hope, fear, and courage. But the idea of standing on stage terrified her. She thought, "No one wants to hear what I have to say that night." She sat by her window, looking at the city lights. Her mother walked in quietly and said, "Sweetheart, the world is full of people who never try because they're scared. Don't be one of them." Those words echoed in Eva's heart. The next morning, she signed up for the contest. The next 2 weeks were hard. Every time she practiced, her voice broke. Her hands shook. She would delete lines, rewrite verses, and doubt herself again. But she didn't quit. Mrs. Collins noticed her effort. One afternoon after class, she said gently, "Ava, you don't need to be the loudest person in the room. You just need to speak with truth, and truth is always heard." That night, Ava wrote her final poem, The Voice Within. It was about how fear holds people back from becoming who they are meant to be. Finally, the contest day arrived. The auditorium was packed. Lights beamed down on the stage, and 100 faces stared up. Ava stood backstage, her notebook in hand, knees trembling. When her name was called, she walked onto the stage. Her heart was pounding so loud, she thought the microphone could hear it. She looked down, then remembered her mother's words, "Don't be one of them." Ava took a deep breath and began to speak. "There's a voice inside us all. It whispers when we fall. It says, 'You can't.' It says, 'You're small.' But what if we speak after all?" Her voice cracked at first, but then, with each line, she grew stronger. The words flowed like a river she'd been holding back for years. The crowd went silent. Even the restless students stopped moving. Her final lines echoed through the hall. "The world may not listen at first, but your heart will, and that's where courage begins." When she finished, there was silence, then thunderous applause. Mrs. Collins had tears in her eyes. Ava felt something she had never felt before: freedom. The next week, the results were announced. Ava didn't just win the contest. She won every heart that heard her. Her poem was published in the school magazine, then shared online, and soon, thousands of students across the country read it. Emails came from students saying, "Your poem made me speak up, and I finally told my parents I want to write." Ava realized something life-changing: her voice had power. Not because it was perfect, but because it was real. Years later, Ava became a motivational writer and speaker, sharing her story in schools across the United States. Whenever a shy student came up and said, "I'm too scared to speak," she smiled and said, "So was I, until I listened to my own voice." Fear doesn't disappear when you hide from it. It disappears when you face it. Your voice has power. The world changes when you use it.